Jason of Beverly Hills. How are you today?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Excellent.
Good, good.
So before we get started into everything, tell me a little bit about the shop in terms of when you started it, why you started it, and so forth.
Well, really, I started out of college with not a dollar to my name, but I really enjoyed meeting new people and being creative. With what started just as a college business, eventually got to the point where we are today with 5 stores worldwide, and we service some of the biggest celebrities in the world as well as other high net worth individuals.
Okay, so where are your 5 stores located?
We have a store in Tokyo, Charlotte, Beverly Hills, Las Vegas, and Miami.
Very cool, very cool. But this is your flagship store?
Beverly Hills is our flagship.
Okay, this is the first one you started as well?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so how difficult was it to actually create 4 more stores and manage those?
I mean, it's very difficult, especially during a time of hyper growth and not really knowing what you're doing. And you kind of learn from your mistakes and learn along the way, and that's really what happened with us. Is we learned our mistakes from the first store and kind of carried it over into the second, third, and fourth, and fifth. And by the time we got to the Miami store, which just opened in March, we kind of knew the process and how it works.
Very cool. Now, a typical store, how much inventory do you usually keep in the store?
The majority of our stores vary in size, from 300 square feet to about 1,500 square feet. So it really depends on the size of the store, how much inventory we put in there, and for what type of demographic.
I got you.
For example, our Vegas store is not going to have the same kind of merchandise as our Beverly Hills store because the demographic is quite different. Typically, each store has about 200 to 250 pieces.
Okay. And can you say what that's worth about, or?
With each and every store, it's a little bit different, but typically we always, at all times, carry a minimum of $10 million inventory in each store.
Right, you're talking about 5 stores, $10 million per store, $50 million in merchandise.
Yes.
Was this something that you were actually able to do yourself, or did you have to bring in partners, investors, that type of thing?
I actually was able to do this entirely by myself, self-funded, no investors, and really just built it organically through word of mouth and our customers.
Very cool. Now we have a special piece in front of us.
We do.
Now. Okay, so I actually did an interview with Nick Cannon about a year ago, where he talked about how he had some unbelievably expensive shoes.
Yeah. I got a pair of diamond shoes. It's just like when you get to that point where
diamond shoes.
Diamond shoes.
What does that mean?
They're diamonds. They're Tom Ford shoes that my jeweler is covered in diamonds. I was gonna wear them today, but like one of the stones came out, so I was like, I put on the stunner pair today.
How much are they worth about?
You ask my jeweler, he gonna definitely say. I can tell you what I paid for them. It was definitely in the high 6 figures.
High 6 figures.
Yeah.
So they're $700,000-$800,000 shoes.
Yeah.
Now I heard him talk about it, but I haven't actually seen them. And these are Nick Cannon's actual shoes.
These are the actual shoes that Nick Cannon wore on America's Got Talent. These are the actual shoes that he purchased himself, and I mean, it really is a masterpiece. You're talking about 340 carats of diamonds, over 18,000 stones set on here, and it took almost a year to make.
Wow. Okay, so tell me the whole story behind it. Like, how did the concept of it come together, and how did it actually become a reality?
Well, Nick came to me, and he's been a long-time client of mine, and has purchased items throughout the years from us. And he came to me and he said, I want to do something special. I want to do something different. I want to do something that shocks the world. And this is really what we came up with. He said, I want to be the next Black Liberace. What can I do? I said, okay, listen, you could do a diamond suit. You're known for wearing amazing suits. But he is fascinated with shoes. He always claims to have the largest shoe collection in the world.
Right.
And you see him on Instagram always talking about how many pairs of shoes he has. So he wanted to really outdo himself and outdo everyone before him. So we set to create the world's most expensive pair of shoes, and here you have it, right in front of you.
So whose idea was it to use a Tom Ford?
He's a huge fan of Tom Ford, and he loved the way the Tom Ford loafer fit him. So he asked me, Jason, can you take one of my pairs of Tom Fords and then reinvent it with diamonds? It was a difficult task because you don't understand how much work goes into creating this so that it is a wearable piece. It's not an earring or bracelet or a necklace, so it's something that's new. It has to have flexibility. If you see this actually has flexibility to it. It is a bit heavy. You're not going to win a race. You shouldn't play basketball on these, but walking on a red carpet, they're perfect.
Okay, so he quoted in the high 6 digits, right? You know, and I said 800,000, and he co-signed that. Now I've heard of a price tag of $2 million for these shoes.
These particular shoes have a value of $2 million.
Okay.
He wore them many, many times. We're actually now going to put them on tour, and they're going to go to Harrods in London to go on tour there. That's the next stop. It's been on tour at all of our stores, and we're hoping to auction them off with certain proceeds going to charity.
Okay. So these are worth $2 million.
$2 million.
So the insurance, if someone came in and stole these shoes, the insurance company would pay you guys $2 million.
$2 million. You plan on stealing them?
I do not.
Okay.
No, I kind of want to. Can't really put these on eBay afterwards. And
I'm not that fast of a runner.
Exactly. Okay. So it's an interesting kind of thing because I'm familiar with diamonds and jewelry a little bit. And how do you actually mount diamonds into a leather base?
Well, let's put it this way. My jewelers had to learn a whole new technique in order to do this. This is not something that every jeweler can do, but this is what makes my job fun, is I get a chance to do things like this. I don't get to do boring bracelets and earrings, so the opportunity to do something like this really just makes our year. To do something like this, it did take a tremendous amount of time and work and a lot of people's input in order to create something that's actually wearable. What we did is we utilized the patent leather and the formation of the shoe, and we created a diamond mesh, if you will, that was all completely jointed, so it has a lot of give, and when we take the mesh and you hold it in your hand, it's like a fabric. And
okay.
that's the reason why we have 18,000 stones total on here, 9,000 per shoe. Really gives you a better understanding of how much work it took to create something like this, with each link individually soldered together in order to create this flexibility in the shoe like this, so you can actually be able to walk and not look like Frankenstein.
So you're talking about 1 year to actually create these shoes?
Correct. 6 months per shoe.
Oh, okay. 6 months per shoe.
Yeah.
So what took the most amount of time?
The assembly. It really took the most amount of time, because once each and every little square here, which consists of 4 diamonds, were set, polished, each one had to be soldered to each other, and even after we did that, we weren't done. We had to make sure it was formed and bent so it fit the formation of this shoe, and you have no idea how many times we broke this shoe until we finally got it perfect, so everything is at the perfect angle, so it's a wearable piece of jewelry.
Okay, so you guys actually would create the shoe, try it on, and a diamond would pop out.
Exactly.
And you'd have to go back to the drawing board.
Exactly. I mean, it was pretty taxing. It took a long time, a lot of trial and error.
Okay. So you're saying that there's 4 diamonds per square?
Correct.
And how big is each diamond?
Each diamond, I would approximately, God, I couldn't even tell you, maybe 2 points, 2 to 3 points each diamond.
So
yeah.
0.2
Yeah.
carats. Okay, cool. Was there a reason why you decided to do the smaller diamonds as opposed to like bigger diamonds? I mean, obviously the price would be a lot higher.
Of course, but with the smaller diamonds, we're able to maintain the flexibility of the shoe. If we had the large diamond, we would have a much harder time. One, they're deeper, so it would push. It wouldn't look seamless like the way it does now. We had to go with small diamonds that we had a lot of different joints to allow for that flexibility. Otherwise, it would have been rigid and difficult to wear, and quite honestly, it wouldn't have looked as good.
Okay, and how much does each shoe weigh?
Each shoe, I would say, weighs about 300 to 400 grams. So it's a decent amount of weight per shoe.
How many pounds is that?
Each shoe weighs about 3.5 pounds.
Okay.
So it is cumbersome when you're wearing it. It is, you can't run around, you're not going to win a race, but they're still comfortable enough that you could walk around every day at a party.
Okay, so you're talking about 7 pounds of shoe.
Correct.
Once you did these shoes, did other people approach you to do something similar?
If somebody approached me to do another pair of shoes, I would probably say no. I wanted this to be a unique experience onto itself. I wanted to be able to create something and move on to something else. I always enjoy thinking out of the box and doing different things. We did the world's most expensive Hot Wheels car for Mattel. We got a chance to do the world's most expensive pair of shoes. And I love to break records. I love to create new experiences and do something that the traditional jeweler just doesn't get an opportunity to do.
Okay, so is this in the Guinness Book of World Records?
This one is not officially in the Guinness Book of World Records, but we are in the process currently of making sure it's an official thing, and it will be the world's most expensive diamond shoes.
Okay, and didn't you do shoes for Questlove as well?
We did a pair of shoes for Questlove. We took some red Nikes and we put diamond laces on them and a diamond tongue on it, and it was a one of a kind as well.
We have the fly wire laces over, like lace accents over here. It still has that traditional lacing hole. Don't be scared, guys. I know everybody afraid that they might pop on you. We see a pink toe box right over here, followed by a gray check.
Just strictly sneakers. There's got to be more to life than sneakers.
Exactly.
Like, go out, enjoy yourself. Have a nice meal. Go out with your friends. Wearing the sneakers, of course you're going to be wearing the sneakers,